Hi, this is Brad Seacott with Terracom, and this is a quick video on the Yokogawa AQ6375E as an Echo optical spectrum analyzer. And specifically, we're going to talk about the difference of the three variants that Yokogawa offers for this spectrum analyzer. Okay, so the easiest way to get to the information, and I'll send links along in the email as well, but you can always go to the terracom.com website. And under About, you pull down the caret, it says Partners. So we'll click on Partners here. And we can click directly through to Yokogawa. Okay. So this puts us at the Yokogawa Optical Test Equipment landing page. And for this video, we'll click on Spectrum Analyzer, Optical Spectrum Analyzer. All right. And it has all the optical spectrum analyzers here and a quick little blurb on what they do. Let's go to the 6375. Okay. Now, there's a little bit here about the three different models. We have a standard, an extended, and a limited. In this case, limited is limited specifications, limited functionality. And of course, there's different prices associated with the three of them. The difference between the standard and the extended is that it's literally extended wavelength range. So 1000 to 2500 nanometers versus 1200 to 2400 nanometers. The difference between the limited and the standard, we're going to go ahead and explore that a little bit because there are a few significant differences, but there's a significant price savings as well if you can work with the limited unit. Okay, so let's go to the brochure. All right, I'm going to apologize in advance for all the scrolling I'm going to do because it's going to be a lot. The 6370 series brochure has all of the OSAs, 6370, 73, 74, 75, so on and so forth. So I'm going to do a little scrolling here. And again, I apologize for that. The first thing I think we want to look at is the actual front panel. So I'm going to zoom in on that. Now, the 6375E and 6376E are the newest upgrades to the optical spectrum analyzer line from Yokogawa. And as such, there is a little bit newer front panel, okay? You can see a little difference in just the shape of the keys and so on and so forth, but probably the biggest difference is that, of course, you can run them both with a mouse and so on and so forth, but the biggest difference is that the 6375E and going forward is a touch panel, okay? So the 6370s does not have a touch screen. We have these quick buttons on the side. Well, those are gone in the 6375. I think it might have a little bit bigger display. I think it is a little larger. And it's faster. The CPU is faster in the newer versions. So you'll get, faster screen response and so on and so forth, and a little bit faster measurement speed. Other than that, everything's basically the same. Everything's roughly in the same spot. A little bit, some differences in the back, different configuration for Ethernet and USB connectivity and so on and so forth, but nothing major. The feel is very much the same. The software feels very much the same on both. Okay, so let's go ahead. This is some applications. So again, more scrolling, and again, I apologize. Let's go down to the 6375. All right, so here's our 6375. And this talks a little bit about the wavelength ranges and so on and so forth, and what you can do with it, and the touch screen and the enhanced function keys and so on. You can certainly read on that. I'll send you this link. But what I'm really interested in here is this page, which talks about the difference between the two, or between the three variants. Okay, so let's start with the standard and extended. The difference, and the only real difference, is the wavelength range. As I'd said before, the standard is 1200 to 2400. The extended is 1000 to 2500. The full span is 1200 on the standard and 1500 on the extended. And I believe those are the only differences. Okay, so for the sake of discussion, we will refer to the standard primarily. All right. If you need the extended wavelength range, it is an extra charge, and we can certainly give you information on that. So let's look into the difference between the limited and the standard. First of all, there is a significant price difference between the limited, but there's also some significant um, limitations. Let's put it in that way in the limited versus the standard. And let's go down and look at those. So the first one that you're going to see is that they specify wavelength accuracy a little different on the limited than they do on the standard. The standard in the C band is plus or minus 0.05 nanometers. Okay, in 1520 to 1580, and then plus or minus 0.1, 1580 to 1620. Well, they only specify the 1520 through 1620, so we don't have the higher accuracy between 1520 and 1580 guaranteed. Okay, everything else is the same. The full range is plus or minus 0.5. Okay, here's the next big step. The choices for resolution are limited on the limited version versus the standard. And I'm going to point out two of them. One is the 2 nanometer resolution is not available on the Dash 1, but the other one is that the 0.05 nanometer resolution is not available on the limited. It's only 0.1 nanometer resolution. Okay, so that's something to consider. The other thing to consider is that we don't have the high 3 sensitivity setting available on the limited version. Okay, and that doesn't mean much on its own, but when you come down here and look at the sensitivity specs, you can see the difference because we don't have high 3, we can't specify it. So you can see the difference, minus 57 versus minus 62, minus 62 minus 67, minus 65 dBm versus minus 70 dBm. Okay, so there's about a 5 dBm or about a 5 dB, more than 5 dB penalty when you get to the shorter wavelengths on sensitivity. Okay, everything else looks about the same till we get to dynamic range. Okay, the dynamic range is 40 dB, plus or minus a half a nanometer off the carrier, right, at 0.1 nanometer. Obviously, these two are at 0.05 nanometers. You don't have those resolutions, so the dynamic range is not going to be as good. Okay, so those are the big differences. If there are any questions, or if you'd like to see a demo unit or something like that, please contact us. And an easy way to contact us, we'll go back to the Terracom page. You can go to the regional line cards on our page and just select the region that you're in. Right, I happen to be in the New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania region, so let's just click on that. And my colleague Paul Tosti is here. He covers New Jersey and Long Island and New York City. I cover Pennsylvania, upstate New York, and a couple of accounts in New Jersey. Okay, here's all of our contact information. If you want to send an email, you can send it directly from here. If you want a hard copy of our line card, you can click on this. And this is the hard copy with a little bit more detail on, what every company does. Okay, I hope that helps. If there's any questions, please reach out to us. You can reach me at my contact information here, or you can reach any of us at sales@terracom.com.